Hi, welcome back to another episode of Nature Aquariums TV, where today we're going to show you how to quickly and easily test your water using some very common test kits for the three most important things you can possibly test your aquarium for fresh and salt water. But before we get with our video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Tons and tons of different aquarium test kits and things, but we narrow it down to the three top most important tests that will help you in any fresh or saltwater tank to identify if you have an issue. Let's go over what those are. First one is going to be your alkalinity test. Now, a lot of people immediately think about pH, but pH, especially in fresh water, is too difficult to figure out. You know, it could be affected by your CO2 levels, it could be affected by wood, tannins, so many different things in a freshwater tank that the real importance is to see what the alkalinity is. The same thing in a saltwater tank. The corals, the fish, everybody feels the alkalinity. That's what really matters and drives your pH and keeps your pH from fluctuating excessively, or it keeps your pH from falling. So we're going to learn the alkalinity test. We're also going to learn ammonia. Ammonia is super, super important. It is the first factor in determining whether something is wrong in your tank. If you have ammonia in your tank, then that means there's something happened, somebody died, you got overfed, you know, something is breaking down in your tank that's causing ammonia. You need to figure out that could be a source of stress for your fish and possibly know that, you know, there's something going on with your tank. Lastly, nitrite. Why is nitrite important? Because a spike in nitrite will tell you that you have something else going on in your biological filtration. Both of these things impact your fresh and saltwater tanks. So this is kind of like your first aid, first to go test to figure out where your tank is situated. Super important when you're cycling a tank to know where your alkalinity is, where your ammonia and your nitrite. That's going to tell you how far along your cycle process you are going. Whether you're doing fishless cycling or you are actually cycling a tank with fish in there because your filter broke, you had to change over a filter. Well, you need to monitor that. And the alkalinity is going to drive the bacterial process. Now, in saltwater tanks, the tanks already have higher alkalinity, so therefore the bacteria is doing really well. In freshwater tanks, a lot of the tap water is really low in alkalinity. If your alkalinity dips below 2 degrees of German hardness, you're going to have a hard time cycling that tank. So let's get on and go with it. There's really a lot of different tests out there. I'm kind of going to cover the Fritz API style tests in these and show you how easy it is to use them. The instructions are the same for either one, and they're two of the most common tests that you can get out there, whether at your local pet store, online, you know, wherever you shop. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is test the alkalinity, and that's a test that you add drop by drop until it does a color change from blue to yellow. We're going to show you how that's done. My case here, I'm going to flush out my syringe. If you use a pipette or a syringe, always make sure you flush it out 3 times before using it, because you want to get rid of any trace minerals or salts that may still be in there from your last test and could throw off the reading, especially in such a small amount. All of these vials are 5 ml vials, so you want to fill it until you get to the 5 ml mark. So we're starting off with our clear sample of water, and the way alkalinity is measured is by degrees of German hardness. RODI water is 0 carbonate hardness, so every time you add a drop, see, it turns nice and blue, so you have 1 degree. And we're going to keep adding a drop and shaking until it turns from blue to yellow. So that's 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4, and 5. So this particular tank has 5 degrees of German hardness. Now, I will put up at the end of the video a little chart with kind of where the KH ranges should be, determining by the type of fish. All right, guys, next up we're going to do ammonia. And the ammonia usually gets done with 2 bottles. Both Fritz and API are 8 drops a piece. And this is how it's done. First of all, we need to get 5 mLs of water. And we're first going to put the first reagent, 8 drops. Always shake the bottle very well before using it. Shake it in between. And now we're going to shake the second bottle, and we're going to put 8 drops in there. Now this test takes about a minute. And what you do is you use the chart that they give you to compare the levels. Now, some of these kits will also come with a fresh and saltwater chart to show you where it should be. For example, the Fritz gives you the color gradations for both saltwater and freshwater. So these are universal tests, and you have to understand that between 0 and 0.25, you are going to have a little bit of percentage of error in the test. So if you're between here, you're pretty much at 0. But once you start going to 0.5 and up, you do have ammonia in your tank. The other thing I'm going to caution you is some cities that use chloramine as a disinfectant in their city water can trigger the ammonia test to show higher amount of ammonia than you actually have. Make sure you're always using a dechlorinator that handles chloramine, and you may want to test your tap water and then your tank water and see what the difference is. Now you got to give this about a minute, and as you can see, this tank here is showing pretty much between 0 and 0.25. It is on the yellow. I am going to add a little bit of ammonium chloride to this test over here to show you how it will look like if you have ammonia in your tank. Now this is still changing colors, but you can already see it is turning greener from the ammonium chloride we added into the reagent. Last test is going to be the nitrite test kit. This is your in-between progress indicator that your tank is cycling. So basically the ammonia gets converted to nitrite, nitrite goes into nitrate. Now nitrite can be toxic to the animals, and it's a quite irritant which can cause death. It can cause loss of corals and can also cause algae blooms, a whole lot of things. So let's learn how to measure it. It's a very easy test to do. It's a single bottle test. We're going to start by adding 5 mLs, and this one is very simple. We shake the bottle, we're going to add 5 drops. And we're going to let this sit for a little bit. It takes about 1.5 minutes for it to work. 2 minutes have passed, and we're doing a nitrite test. And you see how nice bright blue that is? That's the way your test kit should read. If you have any tinge of purple, you have nitrite. These are one of the most accurate tests out there, regardless of which brand it is. The nitrite is a very, very consistent test that works really well. Obviously, if you are up here in the purple area or the violet, you have issues in your tank. If you are cycling a tank fishlessly, you would leave it alone. If you have live fish in there, anything over really 1 ppm of nitrite, you do need to make water changes. This really wraps up the 3 most important tests for figuring out what's wrong with your tank: alkalinity, ammonia, and nitrite. This is how quickly you can do them. Please use the comments below if you have any questions or comments, or if you would like us to do any other tests and show you how we do them here, please use the comment section below. As always, we thank you so much for supporting our channel. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day fish keeping, guys.